It is difficult to speak to both progressives and conservatives at the same time, but I'm going to try. Hear me out. Please be open-minded. Folks, it's an argument for why conservatism makes people happier. 50 years ago, the thought that a male could walk into a female's private space, restrooms, locker rooms, stare at those girls, perhaps expose himself, this would have been laughable. This would have been, no mayor would allow this. No columnist who wanted to keep his job would be writing in approval. But today's progressive leaders have taken their cues from the militant LGBT activists. They follow leftists, and leftist promulgators know they get more attention, they solidify themselves when they take extreme positions. I'm not sure if they themselves even would like to live this way, but they put it out there and the media follows, and many people follow, not because of thinking, but because of feeling. That we feel for some rare 1 in 1,000 boys who really feels he's a girl, boys who aren't egged on by elders, okay? You get them involved and now maybe you're more at like 1 in 50, and now it's a bigger population. When somebody feels deprived, we're all sympathetic. But the conservative says, work within what you've been dealt and make yourself above it all. The liberal, old-fashioned word, the progressive, says, oh, it's society's fault and we have to change society to accommodate you. In the process, look who they hurt. Half the population at least. That's every woman. Because now a woman can't go into a restroom and keep her dignity if there are men allowed there too. Now, girls can't go into girls' locker rooms in school and feel safe. At minimum, they feel violated, leered at by boys, okay? They might be boys that think they're girls. They might be predatory boys who use it as an excuse. The counselors in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a few other places now who've enacted these bathroom bills are absolutely hurting feminism. And thank goodness that conservatives in the North Carolina legislature came to their rescue. Thank conservatism for saving Charlotte from lawsuits at minimum, saving the women of Charlotte their dignity, may have saved somebody from undergoing a rape. Even the parent of Charlotte's school system would be likely to remove his or her daughter had this thing gone through. And it's because conservatives who do feel for anyone who's troubled and isn't comfortable in his own skin. We want to help, but we don't do it at the expense of the rest of people around us. Treatment is possible. Changing the rest of the world to fit you is narcissistic, and when governments do it, it is totally blowing off the goal of government, which is making a better society where it can, and otherwise just getting out of the way. Charlotte and all of North Carolina should thank conservatives for doing the right thing, because had this law stood up, every parent of a secondary school female in the Charlotte school system would have a reasonable civil rights claim against the city for denying their schoolgirls privacy, equal protection, use of facilities that their taxes paid for. Oh, and if there were assaults, say hello to insurance premiums that rocket higher for decades, putting the city into looming bankruptcy. Not to say of putting those who are assaulted into a lifelong memory that can't be just wiped out. Conservatism saved you. conservatism can save the country. It allows for thought to take over for feelings. This is the biggest complaint that I have against modern progressives. They act on feelings and don't consider the consequences. Now, the worst of them do, and they're the manipulators. They're the too far leftists. I don't put progressives automatically into that category, but when you follow along with the leftists who want to really destroy what Western civilization has built up, you're giving aid and comfort to the worst elements of Americans. I'll make one more point about conservatism and transgender. It's how conservatives say to the boy who feels like he should be competing against girls. Okay? He feels like a female. Hard for us to talk this boy out of it. But it should be very easy for a school administration to keep this boy from competing outside of his class. Okay? It's as crazy to let boys compete against girls and deprive girls who've really striven to be at the top of their sport, deprive them of winning accolades, maybe deprive them of college scholarships because, well, in my state, Connecticut, the top 2 track meet places went routinely to 2 boys who were let in as transgender girls, okay? A whole class of girls wanting college scholarships were partially deprived because they couldn't crack the top 2 in the meets that these kids monopolized. School administrators need to say, no, there are standards, and we stay within those standards. And we want to help you with the person you are being as good as possible, but we're not going to hurt the rest of your classmates, or at least half of them, by making exceptions for you based on your maybe very temporary feelings of their own. I'm Mark Stewart. This is a huge issue. I'm a candidate more for cultural issues than anything economic or anything political. Please pay attention at Stewart for Liberty. I hope I have the attention now of some progressives as well as conservatives. Thank you for listening here.